Hi everyone, Salesforce Admin Training, Day 7. Today we are going to quickly review the previous session overview and we'll talk about the OWD and we'll talk about the OWD navigation and how to set the private in the OWD, what is the sharing mechanism and how do we do it, manual sharing, and we'll see few requirements which are similar to the real time. And we'll talk about conclusion, then we'll have a quiz, homework, and today's interview questions. So what did we learn in last class? We have seen role profile, OWD, role hierarchy. What else we have seen?
Mute permissions.
Mute permissions, profile, role properties.
Role properties.
Muting permissions, sir.
Role hierarchy use case.
Right.
OWD.
Right. OWD introduction we have seen.
Yes.
Now, let's start the today's session with the OWD. Now, yesterday, we have observed some scenario. Scenario is whenever I try to log in as another user. When I try to log in as another user, let me log in here. So we have a different user. Yesterday, Messi has created a user. Now, whenever the Messi is created, if I log in as a Kishore Kumar, basically CTO, CFO, COO is a subordinates. So ideally, it should not be visible by CFO. It should not be visible by the COO. But when I try to log in by the Kishore Kumar, which is a CFO or CTO, when I try to log in, so that time I could able to see the records that were created by Messi. If I click on accounts, now here role account details, who has created by Messi. So we have a created by here Messi. So Messi has created and Kishore Kumar is able to see. Now in the real time, whenever we create a record, whenever the users or whenever the client admin team, there are multiple teams are working on one product. Multiple teams are working on one product. Simple example. So if you go to the DMart has a, there are few different activities are there in DMart. Like there are person who is sitting at the counter. There are person who is sitting at the management position. There are counter who are sitting at the location wise, right? So whoever is present in the counter, they will be able to see only the data that they wanted to bill it. That means particular object, in that particular object, by scanning it, they were able to add the record. So as soon as I scan something, the record gets added into the object. So whenever the record is added into the object, then they will see final output, that is the total amount. So the restriction here is whatever they are scanning the item, only that particular item they were able to, only that particular item details, right? Whatever they are planning to do, the only that particular object they were able to see. They cannot see the role hierarchy level, who is at the manager level, what they are doing it. They cannot see all of those. So only the person who is sitting at the counter level, they can see only that data. If I have 4 counters, each other counter data also they cannot see, right? So it is restricted with each counter. So whatever the counter 1 is doing, it is with the counter 1. Whatever the counter 2 is activities are happening, counter 1 cannot see the data. So similarly, in the real time, whenever we are creating a records, we means whenever the users are creating, or a client admin team, or a sales team, support team, service team, whenever they create a record, it should not be shared with anybody. So data security is very important in real time. Data security is very important. So for that reason, what we will do is whenever the another person creates the record, for example, in this case, whenever the Messi creates the record, that record should not be visible to any other members. Should not be visible to any other members. Now, so how to handle that kind of a scenario? To handle that scenario, we came up with a functionality or a topic called OWD. So OWD are used to indicate the level of access of the record. That means which record the data should be able to view. Its OWD is nothing but organization wide default. So OWD decides whether or which record should be visible to whom. Which record should be visible to whom. So Salesforce provides various OWD options. Like they have provided the private, public read-only, public read-write, public read-write transfer, public full access, no access, use, view only, controller by. Now let's see that how these options we can use it. How we can use the options. Now we know that private, public read-only, public read-write, basically these three options is used for the different. So far we have seen the private, public read-only, public read-write, public read-write transfer, public full access, no access, use, view only, controller by parent. Now private, public read-only, read-write is basically we will use it for the price book. Except the price book and calendar, for every object we have an option called private, public read-only or public read-write. We have so many objects in the Salesforce. Except the price book, except the calendar, we will be able to see this option private, public read-only, public read-write. We should be able to see for all other objects. Whereas public read-write transfer, we will see it for the lead and case. That means for the lead and case, along with the private, public read-only, public read-write, public read-write transfer is also available. That means for lead and case object, for lead, we are going to transfer the lead to the opportunity. Similarly, case also gets transferred. So especially for these two objects, along with these three options, there is an additional option which is available for lead and case, which is called as a public read-write transfer. Public read-write transfer. Now next one is a full access. Full access, it has for the campaign, along with the private, public read-only, read-write, it has a public full access for the campaign. Public full access for the campaign. Then we have a no access, use, view only. These all are available for the price book. For the price book, we have a options called no access, use, view only. These are the options which are available for price book. Next one is controlled by parent. Controlled by parent is only child object. Whatever the child objects are there. That means whenever we have any relationship between the two objects, now one become a child, ultimately one became a child, one became a parent. Now which one is became a child, which one became a parent, we will see that later. Okay, so controlled by parent is, this option is automatically it is enabled for the child objects. Automatically it will be enabled for the child objects. That means along with private, public read-only, public read-write, you will see controlled by parent. Now, these are the different options are there. Now, there are few more options which are available. We will see that. Now, let's move on. Now, let's see how to create a OWD navigation. Now, in order to create a OWD navigation, setup, click on a setup, search for a sharing settings and click on a sharing settings. Once you click on a sharing settings, you will see the first section is called as a organization-wide defaults. The first section is called as a organization-wide defaults. Now click on a edit button. So once you click on a edit button, so this is how you will see. So click on a sharing settings, and first section is called as a organization-wide defaults. Organization-wide defaults. So this organization-wide defaults, you will see there are different objects are there. Now observe this here. When you go to the organization-wide, you will see here object. And what is the default internal access? That means whoever is having a Salesforce access, what should be the internal default access for these objects? Now there are users for the external access. That means could be possible that community users or a few other users where they do not have a Salesforce access, but they have a different type of access, which are they are external access. So when it is an external access, what kind of a permission that we are applying related to this object to those external access? Now, next one is a grant access using hierarchy. That means grant access using the hierarchy. Here the part is role. Here the part grant access using the hierarchy is nothing but give the access based on the role hierarchy. Based on the role hierarchy, give the access. Now let's go ahead and see this in the Salesforce. Now here, just search here, OWD settings, organization-wide settings. You cannot type here organization-wide settings. You will not find it. For organization-wide settings, what you have to do is you have to search the sharing settings. Sharing settings. To see the organization-wide the settings, you have to search the sharing settings. Now here sharing settings, the first one is called as a organization-wide default. Organization-wide default. Organization-wide default. So for this organization default, now here these all are the list of the objects, and the second column is internal access. Third column is external access, and then we have a grant access using the hierarchy. Then we have a grant access using the hierarchy. Now these are the options which are available. This is the first section. Now click on edit. Click on edit. When you click on edit, the first thing, grant access using hierarchy is a disable for all the standard objects. It is disabled for all the standard objects. Only it will be enabled for the custom objects. Only it will be enabled for the custom objects. Right now, we do not have any custom object, so we cannot see anything here. But by default, it is deactivated. By default, it is deactivated by the Salesforce. Now that is the fourth column, grant access using the hierarchy. And the next we have, let's take an example of account and contact. Let's take an example of account and contact, because yesterday we have created a account record by logging in as a Messi. Right now, the Himaja is able to see the record. Whoever the CFO or COO users are there, they were able to see the record. Now, if you observe here, whatever the standard objects are there, they were having a private, public read only, public read write. That's what we have discussed, right? So every object will have private, public read only, public read write. Now here account and contact will have a private, public read only, public read write. Even lead is also having a private, public read only, public read write. Additionally, they have a public read write transfer. Now if I go to the opportunity has a private and public read only, public read write. Right? Similarly, you have a users you have a private and public read only. Activity is a different, and then we have a product. Product is also have a private, public read only, public read write. So most of the objects will have first three options. Most of the objects are visible. Most of the objects has a private, public read only, public read write. What do you mean by? Is there a possibility or not to enable the grant access to standard objects? So wait for it. We will see all the scenarios. Now, here these are the options which are available. Now, right now it is a public read write. Public read write is nothing but it is visible to everybody. Whatever the other users are creating it, everybody can see the data. Everybody can see the data. Now, instead of public read write, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify public read only. Let's see the slowly going up direction. Before it was a public read, right? Now what I'm doing is public read only. That means show all the data, but it should be only read access. But now here, now before going to that, let's go with the private. So let's take it as a private. Private is nothing but now what are the records that I have created? I should be able to see the record. What are the records that I have created? I should be able to create the record. Now click on it, save. Now whenever we click on a save, what it is saying is that all the sharing rules will be recalculated because whenever we update an account internal access, automatically opportunity case will be reflected. Automatically opportunity case, account is linked to the contact, account is linked to the opportunity, account is linked to the cases, right? So all three of them will be reflected. All three of them will be reflected. Now I'll click on a save. Now when I click on a save, automatically it takes some time. So on top it is giving you that. So it will take some time in order to update it. In order to update it, it is going to. So if I refresh it, now it will take a few seconds to update it. Now I have a account and contact which is updated. Account and contact private is updated along with the opportunity cases also gets updated. Initially opportunity and cases will have a public read write. Initially it will be public read write. Now whenever we change it to the for the first time account private, automatically the opportunity and cases will be changed to private, and contact it does not change anything because contact is it always says controlled by parent. It always says controlled by parent. Controlled by parent is nothing but whatever the parent has the access. Whatever the parent has the access, that's the same access will be applied to the child. That's the same access applied to the child. Now let's go ahead and check. Now we have an account level private. Now I'll log in as a Kishore Kumar, which is a CFO user. Now when we say private, that means only show the data that is related to the whatever which is created by the same person. Now let's click on view all and accounts. And accounts. Now let's say here all customer. Now how much before the person was able to see everybody's record. Before the person was able to see everybody's record. Now the person is not able to see the single record. Only the record, the one which he has created, he will be able to see. For example, if I create a new, I'll say here, new account, I'm creating the Kishore Kumar account. Kishore Kumar. Now click on a rating, warm, and I'll say industry is a banking. Let's click on a save. Now what are the user is creating, right? So only those records they can see. Only those records they can see. Now if I click on all customer or all accounts, whatever it is there, only one record he can see. Only one record he can see. Now if I try to log out and log in back as a Messi. I'll log in back as a Messi. Messi has it's almost system admin permissions. Now this is satisfied. Now if I try to log in as a Himaja also not able to see the Messi's, the record which Messi has created, and Himaja is not able to view the records that is created by the Kishore Kumar, right? So both the records is not visible because each other data should not be visible. Now if I create a new one, which is the Himaja one here, let's say cold and industry equal to, let's say communication, and click on a save. Now the new account is created. Now right now, Himaja is able to see the records that are created by her, Whatever the Kishore Kumar is created, they cannot view those data. Now this is at the restriction. So that means what is happening here, whenever we change OWD to the private, what will happen? Record is visible only to the record owner and his manager. Whoever is his manager is there in the role hierarchy, only two persons can see. Whenever we say OWD is private, is nothing but only whoever is created the record, that person can see, as well as the manager of that person in the role hierarchy can see the data. Other users cannot see the record. To make the record to be visible to other user inside the organization, we have to use a sharing feature. Now let's assume that Himaja has created a record here, account. Account is created. Now all of a sudden, Himaja is going for a vacation. Now she might be going for emergency leave or some 3 months break. She is going for some medical emergency leave. Assume that medical emergency leave. When she is going for a medical emergency, that means, let's assume medical emergency, usually it will be 1 day, right? So usually it will be 1 day medical emergency. So when she is going for a 1 day medical emergency, whatever the record is created here. Now this is the very important line, right? So assume that there is a VIP client, right? So this client, she has to handle it today. That means this particular should be closed today. This particular one should be closed today. Now let's take it as a logout. Let's click on logout. Now I'll go back to the sharing setting. What I'll do is I'll update the lead. To the private. Click on yes, save. So what I'm doing is I'm clicking on the private on the lead level. That means whatever leads are created by the specific person, they can see only that data. It will take time. Okay. So let's take an account example also. Okay, account example. Now Himaja is going for a medical leave for 1 day, and she wanted to talk to that person, whoever is the account is there, she wanted to talk, but she cannot able to close that particular discussion today. So what she can do is, instead of that, she can transfer or she can share the information to the Kishore Kumar. So if she wanted to share the record to the Kishore Kumar, how can we share it in the Salesforce? In real time, we know that we will be discussing with other members, like Himaja will go to the Kishore Kumar and she will explain everything in the notepad and she will give. But we have a record, we have a data in the Salesforce. Now that data should be visible to the Kishore Kumar. Now whenever the Kishore Kumar is logged in here, the person is not able to see the Himaja's record. The person is not able to see what are the Himaja has created. He is not able to see the record. Now she has explained everything on the notepad, but what should happen? The data that is already, she is owning it. the data that she is already owning it. Now, how the Kishore Kumar can see that data? How the Kishore Kumar can see the Himaja's record here? Now, in Salesforce, we have a different way to share the records. We have a different ways to share the record. That means we have a different sharing mechanism. We have a different sharing mechanism. Now, sharing mechanism is the first one is a account object. Now, first we have a account object. Now, in this account object, what I have done, OWD level, I have set it as a private. OWD level, I have set it as a private. When it is a private, and if one person want to share the record to the another person, right? In that case, we have a something called sharing features. In that sharing feature, the concept is called as a manual sharing. One of the concept in the sharing mechanism is called as a manual sharing. One of the concept in the sharing mechanism is called as a manual sharing. By using the manual sharing, we have to click on a sharing button. We have to click on a sharing button. When you click on a sharing button, you have an option that what level of access you will be giving the person. Will you be giving the read only access or a read write access? Read write access. Now, whether you are assigning to the single person or a multiple person, whether you are assigning to the single person or a multiple person. That means, now let's go to the, let's assume that, let me log in as a Himaja. Now I'll log in as a Himaja. Himaja wants to share the record. OWD level, it's a private. Account is private. Now I need to apply the sharing mechanism. When I want to apply the sharing mechanism, the first one is which is called as a manual sharing. The first one which is called as a manual sharing. Manual sharing is nothing but person has to click on a sharing button. Person has to click on a sharing button. Now, where is the sharing button that is available? If you click on this arrow, you will see one of the option is called here sharing. One of the option is called sharing. That means now here, when you click on a sharing, you can assign to a user. You can assign to the user, you can assign to the role, you can assign to the role and subordinates. Role and subordinates. For example, if you want to assign a user, for now, I wanted to assign the user, now Kishore Kumar. Now, when I wanted to assign the user, right, what level of access that I should give? In the account level, what should be the access? Case level, what should be the access? Opportunity level, what should be the access? Right now, I'm sharing the account, but account is linked to the opportunity cases, right? Account is linked to the opportunity and cases. In case if they wanted to see the opportunity and cases, also, in that case, what level of sharing that we use it? So by default, for the account share, by default, it will show the case access and opportunity access. Now below it says that it is already shared with one user. Who is that one user? The one user is the person who has created it. The person who has created the record, that is the person. That means full access is there with that person. Himaja is the user. Access level is all because Himaja has created the record here. Now she wanted to share the record with Kishore Kumar. Now I'll search here Kishore Kumar. Let's say I'm giving the read-only access. I'm giving the read-only access and click on it. Save. Now, as soon as I click on this save, it says that record share data for the Kishore Kumar is done. That means if you again click on the sharing button, right now it says 2 members. Right now it says 2 group of users. One group of user is Himaja, the person who has created the record, and Kishore Kumar has a read-only access. Now we have given a read-only access to the Kishore Kumar. Now here we have an option called view sharing hierarchy. When you click on a view sharing hierarchy, it will show all the members who has the access to this particular record. who has access to this particular record. Now Himaja already has a full access because she is the one which has created it. Now April batch, because it is a full access for the April batch because they are system admin. They are system admin. Now automatically we are getting the integration user by default integration user, right? Now here Kishore Kumar, we have given the Kishore Kumar. Now user access details. If you click on a user access details, it will give you the more information here. Kishore Kumar manually shared. Kishore Kumar, the record is manually shared with the Kishore Kumar and relationship is self, right? And what kind of access we have given? We have given the read only. So Himaja has manually shared the Kishore Kumar, manually shared the record to the Kishore Kumar. Similarly, if you want to find out the integration user, how did the integration user got the access? Click on here view. When you click on a view, it says that administrator. It says administrator. Administrator is nothing but by default admin. As soon as the record is created, by default it will be created. Admin is going to create it. By default it will be available. That means as soon as you create a record, default admin team is going to get the access. Admin team is going to get the access. Similarly, we have another user which is called as a security user. How did the security user got the access? Administrator. By default, administrator has changed it. Now here you can see all the information, how the records are shared with the members. Now these are the list of the users where this particular record is shared. And what is the level of access in the account, case, opportunity. Case opportunity is always linked with the account. Whatever the account level you are giving the access, you will have a full flexibility to update the case and opportunity also. Case and opportunity also. Now it is shared with Kishore Kumar. Let's go and log in as a Kishore Kumar. Now let's log in as a Kishore Kumar. Now let's click on it. View all accounts. Now here if you click on it, all customers. Now you can see Himaja's record as well as his record. Himaja's record, click on this. Now details. Now what is the access we have given Himaja's one? What is the level of access which we have given? Read access. We have given the read access, but I can see here edit access. I can see here edit access. Let me update this prospect. Click on it, say. What it says that you do not have a necessary privileges to edit the record. Necessary privileges to edit the record. Now what is happening when I shared the record? I mentioned that it is read only. I mentioned it is read only. I did not say read edit, but why it is showing me the edit access here? Why it is showing me the edit access for the Kishore Kumar? Because for this profile, object level, we have given it access, create, read, edit. Create, read, edit. So profile plus OWD together it works. Profile plus OWD together it will work. Now let me show you the profile. Now here I have a profile. This is the profile. Profile level. I have a access which says that the user has a access on the account level. Read, create, edit, delete. Now if I remove edit, now let's go ahead and remove the edit on the profile. Let's go ahead and remove the edit on the profile. Now I'm removing the edit option I cannot remove it. Okay, this is the standard profile. Now let's do one more thing. Now standard platform user, we cannot make a changes. What I'll do is, now I'll log in as a Himaja. Now this time I'll share a record to the Messi. Click on view all, accounts. Now Himaja record is there. Now what I'll do is I'll click on a sharing. Now what are the previous record is there? I can delete the record. Whomever I shared it, I can delete it. As soon as I delete it, they will lose the access. Now right now I'm going to apply, I'm going to give it, or I'm going to share the record to the new user, which I'm saying here read only access. Now it is shared with the Messi and the record is deleted for the Kishore Kumar. For the Kishore Kumar, it is deleted. Now if you click on a sharing here and it says just click on edit, right now it is shared with Messi. Click on a view, sharing history. Now it shows Messi has a access read only, private. Now let's go back here. Now let me log in as a Messi. If I log in as a Messi, now I should be able to see the account that is created by Himaja. Click on all customer. Now he can see the Himaja's record. Let's click on a Himaja's record, detail section. Now, when I try to edit, I'm not able to edit here. I'm not able to edit, right? So it does not have a edit, delete, access. Nothing is available. Nothing is available for Messi. What is the reason nothing is available? Because profile level, I might not be having the edit access. I might not be having the edit access. So profile is Tata Sales Admin. Tata Sales Admin. So when I go to the Tata Sales Admin, now click on a edit. Click on the edit. Now here, let's go to the account level. Now I do not have a edit access. Click on a edit access. Now let's click on a save. Let's click on a save. Now again, I'll log in as a Messi. So when I log in as a Messi, click on an account. Now go to the Himaja. Now this person is able to see the edit record. This person is able to see the edit record, but he cannot update it. He cannot update because Himaja has shared the record only read only access. That means now let's go to the paint. Now we have a concept here. Profile and OWD playing a role together. OWD profile is playing a role together. So we have a concept which is there, OWD, which we have learned already, OWD, role hierarchy, right? Role hierarchy and the profile. Now, there is a confusion here. When to use a profile, when to use a role hierarchy, when to use a OWD. Now, OWD is, it's a object level. OWD permission set is object level. Profile permission set are at the object level. That means on the object level, if I wanted to perform CRUD operation, that means if I wanted to perform create, read, delete, any DML operations, if I want to perform on the specific object, I need to have a profile access. I need to have a profile access. So profile access is for a single record, what kind of a DMLs that you can do it. What kind of a DMLs you can do it. Now, this is at the object level. This is at the object level. Now, when you go for an object level, in the object level, it says that whether I can create a record, whether Can I create a record? If I log into the Salesforce, can I create a record? Can I read a record? Can I edit a record? Can I delete a record? These are the CRUD operations. We have a view all and modify all. That I'll discuss later. For now, let's assume it has a CRUD operation, which is a create, read, edit, delete. These are the options which are available. What is this does in the profile level? What user can do? That means user can create a record, user can read a record, user can edit a record, user can delete a record. Is decided by the profile and permission set. Along with the profile and permission set, we have to maintain something called OWD. So profile and OWD should be working together. OWD and profile should be working together. So here, along with the profile and permission set, we need to maintain the OWD. So OWD and profile works together. OWD and profile works together. OWD and profile works together. What is the OWD is doing here? OWD is decides what is the visibility on the object. What is the visibility on the object? That means visible of the record, whether user can see the record or not, visible of the record. It is a visible of the record, whether user can see his record, her record, or everybody's record. That is the visible of the record. Profile and permission set is, once it is visible, what is the action that I need to do it? What is the action that I can do it? So both together has to work parallelly. So I cannot go without OWD, simply I cannot set the profile, and without profile also I cannot simply go with the OWD. So the concept in the real time is we will go for together, OWD and profile permission set to, whether it is a profile or on top of it if we are assigning a permission set. So let's take a concept of profile here instead of permission set, because they both are same. Now OWD and profile, they works together. That means whenever the person is performing any action, that means if the user, I have a user here, if the user is available and the user is logged into the Salesforce, when the user is logged into the Salesforce, the first thing is that whether the user is able to see the records, Who will be deciding it, able to see the records? OWD is going to decide it. So it is OWD. Once the records are visible, then next is what user can do. First one is whether able to view the records or not. And next one is what user can do. Is decided by the profile. is decided by the profile. So both has to work together. Both has to work together. Now, this is if it is OWD says that public read write. That means I'm giving everything all the access. I'm giving all the access. And profile level, I have a create, read, edit, delete. These all are available. Right, so this is at the base level understanding. Now the concept is here. Now we have understood OWD and profile. But what is the role hierarchy is doing here? The role hierarchy is to improve the visibility of the record. It is not doing anything with the profile. It is only connected with the OWD. In the OWD, if you are saying the visibility of record is a private, in case if I wanted to share my records to somebody, the role hierarchy is going to help me on that. The role hierarchy is going to help me on that. So let's go ahead and see that. Now we have a different type of sharing mechanism that we will see later. Right now, the mechanism that we are seeing is manual sharing. The manual sharing. Now, manual sharing is can share the record to the required user or users manually with the sharing button. So we are clicking on the sharing button and we were sharing the records to the user manually. And by using the sharing button, we can share the record. So you have to go to the record level. In the record level, you need to click on the sharing button. So for example, if you want to share a record, so what you have to do, you need to go to a specific record. You need to go to the specific record, which is nothing but account record or a lead record, whatever is available. You need to click on that particular record. In that record, you need to open and click on the sharing button. So let's see example again. So in order to share the record, so what I'm doing is I'm opening the account. Now in the account, I'll click on a record here. So on this, click on a record and we have an option called here sharing. Now I'm clicking on the sharing button. Either I can select a single user like a Himaja. I can select a single user or I can select a multiple user. I can select a multiple users here, which is possible. I can select a single user, I can select a multiple user, or else I can directly select a role. I can directly select a role. Role is basically, I'll say COO. So I'll say here COO. Now, whoever is there in this role, whoever the users are assigned to this role, it is going to share. Otherwise, I can simply say that CTO and subordinates. Now here CTO and subordinates are nothing but CTO, I'll say here CTO. But CTO and subordinates, what is that mean? CTO and subordinates is nothing but. Now let me cancel this, log out. Now here, if you go to the roles, go to the roles, and then you have an option here. You have an option. Where is the roles? Roles. Click on a setup roles and expand everything. Role and subordinate. That means this is the role. CTO is the role. Whoever is reporting to CTO is called as a subordinate. If I select a CTO as a role and subordinates, that means CTO will get the access as well as VP also gets the access. That means whoever is the users that are there as part of CTO and VP, both will get the access. That means if Kishore Kumar is sharing the record to the CTO, that is role and subordinates. Role and subordinates. That means they will be getting the access to the Messi as well as Gautami. Both of them will be getting the access. Both of them will be getting the access. Right? And the next one is, now you can say, share it to the single user or a multiple user. Once you click on a single user or a multiple user, the next step is what level of access you wanted to give. What level of access? That means, now when you log in as a Kishore Kumar, now once you select role and subordinates, subordinates. What level of access should I need to give access to that specific record? What level of access that I need to click on, use it. So I'm clicking on the sharing button here. When I click on a sharing button, I'm clicking on the roles and subordinates. When I click on a roles and subordinates, I'll say here, CTO is the use, CTO. So that means CTO is the role and subordinates is VP. They should be getting the access. Now this is grant access. What level of access I am granting? There are two types are there. One is read only, another one is a read write. One is read only, another one is a read write. Read only is nothing but it will grant only view permissions to the users on the record. It will grant only the view permissions to the users on the record. Now, if you say record, read, write, that means the person will have a view and edit. The person will have a view and edit. Now, let's go to one requirement. Let's say here we have a requirement. So is everybody taking a notes of manual sharing? Take the notes of manual sharing. How about previous slides? How about previous slides? Everybody taking the notes? I'm repeating again, organization by default, OWD. We have a OWD is decides which record should be visible to whom inside the organization. Which record is visible to whom is decided by the organization. Now, whenever we are going with the OWD, we have a certain level of access is there. Private, public read only, public read write. This is especially except the price book and calendar. Everybody should be able to view these options. Most of the objects will be able to see. There are few objects like a task and few other objects also there where they cannot see all three options, but two options maximum they can see. And along with these three options, we have one more option which is called as a public read write transfer, which is available for the lead as well as the case, because we use a transfer for lead and case. Next one is a public full access. This is available for campaign along with the private, public read only, read write. And next one is a no access, use, view only is for the price book, especially controlled by parent is automatically it will be enabled for the child, the one which we have already seen for the contact. Is everybody taking a notes of this?
Yes, ma'am.
Offline. Okay. Now let's move on. Navigation steps for the OWD. We have to go to the setup and search for a sharing settings. And then you need to click on a sharing setting. When you click on a sharing setting, the first thing is visible is organization wide defaults. Organization wide defaults. in the organization by default, you will be able to select see the objects, internal access, external access, grant access using the hierarchy. This is grant access using the hierarchy is a disabled by default. It is a disabled by default. You cannot edit it. For the custom object, we can able to edit it. For the standard object, we cannot able to edit. And by clicking on here edit button, you will be able to update the internal access. You will be able to update the internal access. What kind of a level of access that I should be giving it. Is everybody taking notes of this? Next one is OWD private. Private is basically, by default, Salesforce is opening up the access for everybody, irrespective of the role, irrespective of the profile. It is opening up the access for everybody on the initial step. That means as soon as I get the OR, by default, Salesforce will open up the public access to everybody. So what we will do it is, we will restrict the access. We will restrict the access. Whoever is creating if user 1 is creating the record, user 2 should not be able to see. That means we will make the OWD as a private here. We will make OWD as a private. So record is visible to only the record owner and the manager of that in their hierarchy. Only those two people can see. And others users cannot see when we have a private. To make the record to be visible, other user, in case if we are making it as a private. Now, when I make it as a private, I got a scenario that I wanted to share the record to the another person. That means whatever the user 1 is created, user 2 should be able to see the record. User 2 should be able to see the record. Should I need to modify the OWD? If I modify because of one user, if I modify the OWD from the private to public, it will be impacted for everybody. It will be impacted for everybody. So that's the reason we will not change the OWD level access. OWD level access should be always low level. Now from the OWD, if you want to, there is one person, one user where they wanted to see the specific records, then what we will do is we will share the record. We will share the record. It is similar to the Google Sheet. It is similar to the Google Sheet. Whenever you create a sheet, other person should not be able to see that sheet. Now, when you click on a share button and when you mention the single user or a multiple user, right? The same way here also you can select a single user or a multiple user and what level of access you wanted to do it. In the Google Sheet also you will do the same thing. Whether the person is able to edit the record or read the data, you will give the level of access. Based on that, only the other users able to either edit or read the data. So similarly here also, while sharing the record, what level of access is required, we will be deciding it. We will be deciding. Now, is everybody noted down this OWD private?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the next one is a sharing mechanism. Sharing mechanism is, this is the flow. This is the flow. Now, the flow is, it's just you need to imagine. You need to imagine that we went to the OWD level. In the OWD is nothing but sharing setting. We went to the sharing setting. In the sharing setting, for the account object, I have updated the internal sharing setting to the private. Internal sharing setting to the private. When I make it private, if I received another requirement that other user want to see the different users' data, then in that case, the concept is called sharing feature is the concept. In the sharing feature, we have a different ways of sharing. We have a different ways of sharing. The first way of sharing is a manual sharing. The first way of sharing is a manual sharing. In the manual sharing is nothing but whoever is the user is created the record, that user open the record once the user opens the record, on the record level, they have to click on the sharing button. They have to click on the sharing button. Once they click on the sharing button, it will open up some pop-up box here. In that pop-up box, you should be selecting the user. Option is you should be selecting the user, one user or a multiple user, or else you need to select the role or a role and subordinates, right? And once you select the data, then the second step is you need to give a level of access. Grant the level of access, whether they wanted to see only two options you will see. They grant the access. One is read only, another one is read edit, another one is read edit. So only two options you will have. Any record, you will see only two options. One is a read only, another one is a read write. Now, these are the two options, level of access. One is read only, read write. So you can choose any of this. Either you can assign a single user, you can assign a multiple user, or you can assign a role or a role and subordinate. Public groups, we will see it later. This is a different concept. That is a different concept. Now, right now, you can assign a single user, multiple user, or a role and role subordinates. So you can assign this. Now, everybody is able to take a notes of this sharing mechanism. Now, next step is manual sharing. When I click on a manual sharing, what all things can be happen? I can share a record to the required user. I can share the record to the required user manually with the help of sharing button, which we have already seen. And when I click on a sharing button, I can share it to the single user or a multiple user. Right? And the level of access, I can decide it whether it is a read only or read write access. Now, everybody taking these notes?
No, ma'am.
Okay, take a notes. Now, in the meantime, any questions so far, whatever we have discussed? Now, we will go through the different scenarios of profile, role, OWD. Okay. Now, let's take a requirement. Let's do one requirement. Create an account record by logging in with CTO user. I need to log in as a CTO user now and create an account record and share the record to the CFO user. That means I need to log in as a CTO user. I need to log in as a CTO user and I need to share the record to the CFO user. Now this is the requirement. Now let's go ahead and implement. Now I need to log in as a CTO user. Particular license, you can see it here, right? So license which are available at the user level.
That question is from last previous session.
Can you a bit louder? I cannot hear you.
That question is
That question is?
that question is from previous session, ma'am. Can we check the user list to who is having particular license? Because if I want to see the
I barely hear you, Srivali. I cannot hear you properly.
1 second. Now it is audible, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. If I want to check the license, for example, Salesforce license, for whom we have Salesforce license, can we check the users list, ma'am? We can check in company information that how many licenses we have, but can we check the users list names?
Yes, you can cross verify. If you go to the users, Click on a users list here. Right? So by default, it is not showing here, but you have an option to create a new view, create a list view.
Okay.
When you create a my list view, and what is the options you wanted to see: full name, alias, username, role, activity. Along with that, you wanted to see the user license.
The names of the users who is having Salesforce license, who is having Salesforce platform license, like that.
Mhm.
Because if we exceed the license limit, then we can check that, ma'am.
You can cross verify that it is already available. Let me put everything here, Control A. Let's move on. Now let's click on the visible to me. Click on save. You cannot display more than 5 fields. Let me take out the nickname, fax, street, city, country, company name, division, department, title, employee number, last modified user type. Now let's see how many fields are there. Now let me take out the time based, temporary code, U2F, start of the day, end of the day, created by, created date, password expiration, time zone. I do not need this. Offline user, marketing user, contract, is frozen, allow. So let me click on save. Now still I have. Let's take out few more. Information, email, admin, login access policy, email encoding, right, language, locale, and alias. Now let's click on save. Let's username, role, and user type. It says here manager extension is there. Have you tried in the company information?
Ma'am. Yes. It's showing limit only. If we want to check manually, we have to check. That I have seen yesterday.
Okay. So how about system overview? Have you checked it?
No, ma'am.
So system overview. Now here it says business user, user interface. Now Salesforce show all most used licenses. It will come back to here. Okay, so user level, you do not have it, but user level exactly you will not get it, but there is some customization query you can run it. Or else what we have to do is we need to create some formula field on the user level, right? So that formula field is going to tell you that whether it is a if it is a user license, then you need to enable that particular field. So that is kind of a customization.
Okay, ma'am.
Or
Ma'am,
else
there
what
is
you
only
can do is you have some filter criteria here. But here the license, it is not displaying it. So what is the field name of the license?
Salesforce.
Field name, API name of the Salesforce, API name of the license. What is the API name of this? So we do not have a API name for the user license. Salesforce is not displaying that. So you cannot find it there. So it has to be. It has to be some customization. We have to do it. We cannot straightforward. It is not a straightforward in case if you wanted to find how many users are there in this particular license.
Okay.
Okay, because this field is not available. This field, if you search in the fields, you will not see this field. User fields not visible.
Can we change the license once assigned, ma'am, or there is only option to deactivate?
You can change the license, but you cannot decrease it. You cannot decrease it, right? So right now you have something called as a Salesforce. Now, if you go back and apply the charter fee, you cannot apply, or if you want to apply the analytics, there is something, or a community, you cannot.
Yeah, whatever
There are only few
licenses.
things which are available.
Okay. Only available licenses we have to choose.
Not the available licenses. There are charter free licenses also available, but you cannot shift it. Once it is activated or once you create the user, you cannot change it to any other user. Only the user, only the licenses you will see which are having the like a Salesforce integration platform, work.com or a partner app. These only you can see it. You cannot see other licenses. If it is available also, you cannot see.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I also have the same question. So I tried to change the user license with charter free as I wanted to assign a user with a Salesforce user license. So at that time, as a charter free license have almost like 5,000 licenses, but it was not showing in the field level.
Yes, in that case, you need to deactivate this and create a new one.
Without deactivating means I tried to use with a charter free license, but
Was it showing here charter free license?
yeah, no.
So that's what I'm saying it. So you
Okay.
cannot see.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Where are you seeing this, Venkatesh? User.profile.user license.name. That is for the customization. That's what I'm saying. Directly, you cannot do it here. You need to do the customization. That means we need to query the data. License is there. It is sitting in the database, but you cannot directly filter in the users list view. You cannot filter in the users list view. You cannot see the license itself here. There is no license option is here. You cannot see the user license option here. For that, we need to do the customization. That means the field is there at the back end. The field is there at the back end in the Salesforce database, but on the UI, you cannot do anything with the user license field, which is not available. There has to be some customization which has to be done. Based on that, you will be able to see what is how many users are assigned to specific license. No. Let's move on the requirement. CTO user. I need to log in as a CTO user. And I need to share the report to the CFO user with a read-only access. Now let's log in as a CTO user. Click on an account. Now role account details. And click on a share button here. Click on edit. Right now it is just assigned to the whoever is created, only that person. Now I need to assign to the CFO. Who is the CFO here? Kishore Kumar. So let's assign to the Kishore Kumar. So in the real time, you will be doing exactly the same thing. So we'll have a Kishore Kumar here, we'll assign the Kishore Kumar. And what level of access it was saying it? Level of access is read-only access. Now I have a read-only access, click on a save. So once it is saved, now I can log in as a Kishore Kumar and I can cross-verify the data. I can cross-verify the data that is created by the Messi. Right now, the Kishore Kumar is able to see the record. Able to see the record. Now this is the role account details which is created by Messi. Which is created by Messi and it is a read-only access. If I try to make any changes here, it will not allow me because right now I have given only the read-only access. Read-only access. Now this is what. Now one more thing, just remember Salesforce platform. Whatever the Salesforce platform user has, this Salesforce platform user by default, it will have an account and contact. It does not have an opportunity. It does not have a case. It does not have a case. Case and opportunity will not be there on the whatever you have, whatever the standard platform user you have used it. By default, it is not there. In case if you wanted to see the case and opportunity, what you have to do is clone this standard platform user, create a new profile. Clone this standard platform user, create a new profile. Then you will have an option to view the permission set and view the option to view the opportunity and cases. So right now, the cases and opportunity you cannot see. So what I mean is by default, we are using the Salesforce platform user profile here. By default, we are using the Salesforce platform user, which is created by the Salesforce, which is created by the Salesforce. Now, what I'm going to do is right now, I'm not able to see the opportunity and cases, right? So for that, I'll go to the profiles, click on a users, click on a profiles. In the profiles list, I'll click on a new profile. And here I'll choose the standard platform user. Standard platform user, let's say here custom platform user. Now click on a save. Anything you wanted to make a changes to the standard one, you cannot do the changes, right? So just clone it and create the new one. Right now we have a access. Now here we have an account, you can modify it, right? Now you cannot see the opportunities and cases also here. Only the available is you can modify the account level, contact level, you can modify it. Standard platform does not have an opportunity and cases. Standard platform does not have an opportunity and cases is not available. Homework, note down the homework. Create a new profile. By cloning the Salesforce platform. Salesforce platform license. And assign this profile to the user. Assign this profile to the user. Check whether user is able to see the record or not. See the opportunity and cases. Opportunity and cases records or objects. Now, next step is create a permission set. Create a permission set by enabling opportunity and cases. That means they should have a CRUD operation. CRUD operation. And assign this permission set to the user, to the same user, above user, whoever is there, to the above user, and check whether user is able to see opportunity case or not. Now tomorrow I need this assignment. Before starting the session, we need to discuss this. Right? So you need to do the 2 steps, cloning the profile and create a new permission set, assign this profile permission set to the user. What is happening before assigning to the permission set? What is happening after assigning the permission set? Right, this is one of the interview question also. Now, let's go back to our story. So this is the requirement. So far, whatever we are discussing is OWD, role hierarchy, and profile. Now, just record level. So OWD is what is the visible to the user, whether the record is visible to the user or not. Now, in the real time, the access order is always, first it will be OWD. First it will be OWD, then we'll have a role hierarchy which is defined in the company, and then we'll have a sharing rules. That means sharing mechanism. Then in the sharing rules, after the sharing rules, we'll have a manual sharing. So the access here will be having top to bottom. That means OWD level will give a very less access. Will give very less access. To open up that access, we'll have to use the role hierarchy. We'll have to use the sharing rule. We'll have to use the manual sharing. That means we always go from lower level access to the higher level access. Nobody in the company in the real time, nobody will be creating OWD as a public. Very rare scenario, everybody uses the low level settings. That means private. Most of the companies use a private, and then we will increase the level of access by using the role hierarchy, by using the sharing rules, by using the manual sharing. There is a different concept called sharing rule. Right now we have seen the manual sharing. So by using this, we will be access of the order visibility is increased. The visibility of the records gets increased by whatever the base level OWD has. Based on that, we will be extending it or improving the access or opening up the access using the role hierarchy or manual sharing or sharing rules. Now let's take one scenario. Now you have to tell this scenario what we are going to do it. Now in this scenario, whatever I'm going to give the scenario, what should be the OWD access level? Okay. What should be the OWD access level? The scenario here it is. Now I have one user. He says that should have a read records. He should have a read records owned by other members in the lead object. That means the person, there is one person, he should be able to read the records that is owned by him as well as by others also. The person should be able to read the records owned by him as well as as well as owned by other members, whoever the others are created, he wanted to see. At the same time, I have a different group of users. I have a different group of users. This group of users are, they say that we should have a read, edit, record access owned by us as well as owned by others. That means one group is saying it in the company. There is a different groups are there. One group is saying that I should have only read access. I should have only read access, whether the record is created by me or record is created by others. The other group is saying that I need to have a read, edit access, whether it is by me or a other person. What should be the OWD level? What should be the OWD level?
First one public read, second one public read write.
I cannot create a OWD separately for one group, separately for other group. OWD is org wide. So they both are in the same org. They both are in same org. Now only one OWD access level I need to apply.
Profile.
I'm talking about the OWD.
Give
What is
public
the-
read only and then share for the second one.
Right. So why public read write? Assume that I'm assigning here public read write on the OWD level. When I apply a public read write at the OWD level, what is the first scenario here? Its scenario says this person should have a read access. This group does not have a edit access. Now, how it is going to qualify this public read write? That means I have this group is only record access, and another group is based on this setting. I am satisfying the second group, but how about the first group?
We need to give basic read access, public read. Then we need to increase the accessibility using the role hierarchy.
Yeah, can you repeat that? Yeah, can you repeat that?
Yeah, initially we need to give low level access, right? So when we will give public read, then we will increase the access by using sharing rules or manual sharing we can use.
Okay. How about offline?
Not cover previous scenario.
Private and then manual sharing records, single user. Okay. Now, if I give a private, here, assume that I'm giving a private. At the OWD level, I'm giving a private. Private is nothing but what? Private is nothing but only I can see my records. I cannot see other records. But in two groups, what they are saying here in the two groups, they are saying that they wanted to see other records also owned by them, as well as they wanted to see other records. The criteria in both of them is same. Other records they wanted to see. Is the private is going to fulfill that?
No.
No. What is other options we have? Private, public read write, both are not qualifying it. What is the other option which we have?
Public read.
Public read.
There is nothing called as a full access. So it is public read. Public read. So when I give a public read access in the OWD level, that means users can see their records. That means owned by them as well as other records. Both the records they can see. That means what are the second criteria is there that is qualified? Now the first one which we have. The first one is there should be a read access. Now I am giving the read access. The other group is also has a read. Now only thing which is missing is additional access is edit. That means I can apply a OWD level public read write, and then on top of it, I can create a sharing rule. I can create a sharing rule. Using this sharing rule, I can share the records as a read edit. I can share the records, read edit to the second group. I can share the records to the second group. Is that clear, everybody? So
Yes, ma'am.
the answer for this is set up the public read only as OWD. Set up the public read only. That means public read as OWD. Offline, is that clear? Okay. Now, next scenario. These are the interview questions. Okay. So they will say that I have a different group. Okay. And that group is required only the read access. I have another group which required the read edit access. What should be the OWD level access? So they will ask this question. Scenario 2. Now this is on the profile level. This is on the profile level. Like basically I wanted to understand how do you set the profile access? How do you set the profile access? Now I have an account object. In the account object, we have a read, create, edit, delete, view all, modify all. These are the options which are available at the profile level. These are the options which are available at the profile level. Now, what will happen if in the profile level, if I check read, create, edit, delete? I'll turn on only the options read, create, delete, edit. If I check this, what is the result that I'm going to get it? In profile level, if I check read, create, edit, delete, what is the level of access the user is going to get?
Everything like.
What is the level of access the user is going to get it? Right, offline. Now, user is going to get the read access, edit access, delete access on their own records. On their own records. They will have this access on their own records. This is on their own records. Plus we based on the OWD setting. Based on the OWD setting. That means profile plus OWD. If OWD is public read write, that means they will get a full access. If OWD is a public read write, that means they will get a full access. If it is a public read only access at the OWD, then though you have a read, create, edit, delete, they can only read the other records. They cannot edit other records. Definitely they have a read, edit, delete access, but when it comes to the plus the OWD, what are the OWD that are available? Plus OWD, based on the OWD, they will get a access, right? But definitely for their own records, they will get the all 4 permissions. They will get all 4 permissions. Now, we have a 2 other, view all and modify all. When I check this view all and modify all in the profile level, what will happen?
We always, everyone can view, whatever, in the org, whoever are the users, they can view all the records.
Right?
Modify all means they can do edit also.
Mhm. Right. Okay. So here view all is nothing but read all the records. Read all the records. Modify all is nothing but full access on the all the records. Modify all is full access on the all the records. View all is it just have a read access. It's not a full access. If you just have a view all is nothing but you have a read access on all the records. Now you will get an answer. You will get a question. They will ask you that. They will say that I have a modify all. They will say that I just enable the modify all. No, I do not have anything here. I just enable the modify all. What will happen to the user? User will be able to modify the records or not. This is the question they will ask you. So remember this is a confusing interview question because they know that when we click on a modify all, automatically all the checkboxes will be enabled except the create record, except the create record, except the create record, everything will be enabled. So when you, they will ask, interviewer will ask only to confuse you that I just have a modify all access. I just have a modify all access on the account. Now, whether the user is able to see the record and user is able to edit the record or not. So if we say edit, they can able to view the record and they can able to edit the record, then they will ask how. Because I'm just giving the modify all. I'm not giving the edit access. But there we have to say that when we enable the modify all, automatically edit, read, delete, view all, these will be automatically enabled. These will be automatically enabled. So that is the confusion question in the interview. Now, a few members will ask, what will happen if I give just a view only? If I just give a view only, what will happen? Now, what will happen if I just give a view only? They can view the records. They can view the records. Only the read. They cannot edit anything. They cannot edit anything. Now,
And one more doubt, ma'am. If we do modify all, and if we keep OWD is read only, then we cannot edit, right?
I'm coming to that point. So let's assume that this is at the profile level. Now, let's go to the OWD level. Now, let's go to the sharing settings. Now, in the sharing settings, I have given the account is a private. Account is private. Now, in the profile level, I'm saying it modify all. I'm saying the modify all. Okay, let's click on this. Now, if you uncheck the view all, automatically modify all also will go on. Automatically modify all also go on. Now, modify all is nothing but as per the definition in the Salesforce, full access on all the records. This is the definition of the Salesforce. But here the concept which I have is sharing record. The sharing setting, it says account level, it is a private. Account level, it is a private. And I'm giving a modify all here. I'm giving a modify all. Now let's click on this save. This is a new profile which I have created. Now this is the custom platform user. Now let me go to the users. Now in the users, let me update the Kishore Kumar profile from the standard platform to the custom platform user. Click on a save. Now custom platform user has a full access. That means I have given a complete access on that. That means I have given a modify all access. Modify all access I have given. Now the OWD level, it is a private. OWD level, it is a private. Now let me log in as a Kishore Kumar now. What will happen if I log in as a Kishore Kumar? If I log in as a Kishore Kumar, let's go to the view all and let's click on accounts. Now all customers. What is happening? 24 items. 24 items. Now, how the admin is able to see admin is able to see all the 24 records, or admin is able to see more records. Let's go to the admin part. Now in the admin, as an admin, how many records I can see on the account level? How many records I can see at the account level? Now click on all customers. How many? 24 items. What is happening here? In the profile, the view only modify all overrides the OWD permission set, not this one. Read, create, edit, delete will not override. Read, create, edit, delete will not override. This is as it is, it works. But when it comes to the view all and modify all, it will override the OWD settings. It will override the OWD settings. So that means base level, you have a OWD is a private, right? On top of it, if you have a profile which says that view all or modify all, that means it is going to override the access that has at the OWD level, and it will open up the access to the everybody, whoever assigned to that particular profile. If the profile has a view all and modify all, they can simply see all the records. They can simply see all the records, though your OWD is a private. And if your profile is saying that view all and modify all, they can see everybody's data. They can see everybody's data. This is the interview question they will ask. OWD level, I have a private. OWD level, I have a private. And profile level, we have given a access, view all and modify all. Now, there is a different way they will ask. Now I have a OWD private. OWD is private, but still my user is able to see everybody's record. Still, my user is able to see everybody's record. How they are able to see? I have a OWD is a private, but still they are able to see all my records. How it is possible in Salesforce? The simple step is in the profile level, we have a view all and modify all. This is also a confusion question. They will say that OWD level, I have a private. Now, when I have a private, how my user is able to see all the records? The simple answer is that user profile level, the the CRUD operations. After the CRUD operation, there is a two options which are available: view only and modify all. So view all and modify all. So these two are enabled for this particular profile. So that's the reason user is able to see all the records, because view all and modify all overrides the OWD settings. Is everybody clear on this?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how about offline?
Clear, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's move on. There is another scenario. Let's see. Another scenario. Okay. The scenario, it says that here also what should be the access level, profile access level. What should be the access level? So let's see the scenario here. I have a group of members here. Assume that there is a one person in the group. Okay. Or group. Now what they say that I should only see the records that is created by me. The person says I should only see the records that is created by me. I should see only the records that is created by me. Whereas other group says that, no, we should have all records. We should have all the records. These are the different groups. These are different groups. Assume that this is a one group of the member. Let's assume that this is a service team. Okay, service team says that whatever I'm creating it, I should be able to see. The other person will say that, no, I wanted to see all the records. Now, do I need to create a different profiles for these two members?
No.
No,
Hmm.
because
Permission set.
I just have a same access. There is nothing difference into this, but only the difference what we are seeing is this person want to see his record, his own by, and this person want to see all the records. So what should be the step? Let's assume the lead. Let's take it as a lead. Now on the lead level, I have these options which are there. Now what I'll do it, what is the option that I'll check it for this person? Let's go step by step here. So if I wanted to view only the records that is created by the person, what is the check boxes that I enable?
Read and create.
Read.
Read,
Create.
Only see his records. Only see means read.
along with the read, the person should be creating the record, right? So when the person is creating the record, then only they can see the read. So it's not a one read option. It has to be read and create.
Yeah.
Assume that I have created a read and create. Now I have enabled here read and create. Now what will happen here? See all the records.
Read, create, view all. Read, create, view all.
So if
View
I
all.
enable view all,
Only view all.
automatically read will be enabled. Now this person has to create a records. That means I need to enable this. So total 3 enabling it. Now, what should be the OWD level in this case?
Private.
Now here the person is saying that only I wanted to see the records that are created by me. This person is saying that all the records are nothing but I already gave the overwriting the permission of the profile level. So what should be the OWD level?
Public reading.
Private.
Person
We-
should be able
View
to
all means
create a
it will
record.
override it, right? OWD, it will override the OWD, right? View all means.
Yes, view all will be overwriting the OWD permission set. When I give a public read only, now if the person wants to, now here only see the records. If I give a public read only, okay, what will happen? The person is able to see other person data. If I give a public read, that means the person is able to see other person data, right? So public read only is not right. The person should not want to see the record of others. Only he wanted to see the records of his own. So what should be the OWD level?
Private.
Right.
Private.
Is everybody agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Rohit.
If it
Is
is
that
private also, view all means, I mean, everyone can see the, read the records, right? We will override the OWD.
Yes,
So,
I can give the OWD level private so that this person, whatever the access we are giving it, this person is able to see only his record. Now this group is, they wanted to see everybody's data. So what I can do is simply I can enable the view all so that he can see all others' data. So always we should compare what is the less access. Based on that, we should give the OWD level access. Then we have to expand the access at the profile level, and by using the role, we can expand it.
yeah.
Now, let's take a scenario here. You have a team of external partner, okay, who need access to the specific records in Salesforce. Access to the specific records in Salesforce, but you do not want them to be able to access other records in the system. How would you set up the profile and permission set for the partner users? Now here they need a access to the specific records. It doesn't say that there is a specific records in generic, they are saying in the Salesforce, but you do not want them to be able to access other records. You will not be able to access other records of the data. That means if we do not want other records data, first of all, view all, modify all, we should not give. View all, modify all, we should not give. Whether it is a one profile, two profiles, we should not give the view all and modify all. Because here the condition they are saying that they do not want them to be able to access other data in system. Other data in the system. If they do not want anything to be accessed by the other system, then we have to give in the profile level only CRUDs should be enabled. Create, read, and edit. Delete option should be enabled. Now, whatever the other two is there, we should not touch that. We should not touch that. Now, who needs a specific access they are saying here? Who need a access to the specific reports? Now, can you elaborate, Rohit, what you are thinking on it?
Hearing?
Yes, can you elaborate what you are thinking here so that they will have a different profiles? Is that answer for this? Is this answer for this question? What is the answer for this question? How would you set up the profile and permission set? Okay. So for the scenario 4, how would you set up the profile and permission set? How many profiles you will create? How many permission set you will create it? Okay, come up with this answer tomorrow. So we will discuss this tomorrow. And let's move on. Note down this question. We'll discuss. Whoever wants to practice it, they can take a homework this one. Now see how you can assign this. It's a generic question. It doesn't seem like an exact, like this is how you receive in the interviews also. And whatever today I have explained, everything apply on this. Is everybody noted the scenario? Partner user is nothing but just think they are a different users. It's similar like a user, but they are different users. Let me know once everybody noted this.
Here, others data means the records which created by the other users.
Yes. The answer is already there in my previous sessions. Now, in previous slides, whatever we have discussed. Now, is everybody noted this? Now, let's move on. Now, here we have a different kind of a setup. Let's see the setup. Now I'm taking here OWD profile level. OWD profile level, and what should be the result? Now, if I have a OWD private and profile is a CRUD operation is there, what should be the result of the members?
Private.
Only show.
Private plus CRUD operation at the profile level. So what should be the result? Only his
Only
records.
show is equal.
So his records will be shown, which are read and edit access. Whereas if I have a private and only create read. Now what will happen in this case?
Only read access.
My records create and read. In the
View all access.
Read access.
yeah, read and create.
Profile level, I just have a create and read. So that means the person can create a record and read the record. Only the records which are owned by him. Only the records which are owned by him. Now let's suppose I have a private and there is no setting in the profile. What will happen? OWD level private, but there is no settings. I don't have any setting. Nothing is enabled in the profile. It's a blank. Now what will happen for the user?
View records.
I think that case only system admin can see the records, ma'am.
The person will not get any access. Because profile, what user can do? Now you have opened up the access here private, but what user can do? Nothing. So no access. Next one, OWD level, I have a public read only. I have public read only. And profile level, I have a CRUD operation, create, read, and edit, delete. I have a CRUD operation. What will be the access for the users?
Other records read.
Others records and own records can be read.
What will happen to other records? What will happen to his record?
My records, I mean, he can do create operations, but others can only read access they will be having.
He can only perform the CRUD operation, and others only read option available there. Others not able to perform the CRUD operation now.
Only view.
Both others and own records can be read.
Okay. Balu, what happened? You're not answering. What should be the result? When you have a public read only and profile CRUD operation, what should be the access for the my records, access for the other records?
My records is create and other records is read.
So my records is read and edit, right? All the CRUD operations will be there, create, read, edit, delete. And whereas other records, only the read access. Because other records we are saying here, read. It will be read access. Right. Next, again, we have a public read only. Public read only. Profile level, I have a create and read. Profile level, I have a create and read. What will happen to the result?
Only read.
My
All
records create
records.
and read,
For
and
own
other
and
records
others.
read.
All records can view and read.
All records. Who is saying all records? Now, my records, he will get a create and read access. For other records, he will just get a
Only read.
read access.
Yeah.
Now, similarly, I have a public read only in the OWD. Right. So public read only. Profile level, nothing is there. So what will happen?
No access.
Offline.
Other records can
Basically, whether it is a other records or his own records, he cannot do anything there. He cannot do anything. Similarly, when I have a public read right here in the OWD and there is nothing in the profile level, whether user able to do anything here?
No access.
No access. Now here, public read write is on the OWD and the profile level, I have a CRUD operation. Profile level, I have a CRUD operation. So what will happen to the record? For the
My
my
records, read.
Others
My records read and other
can
records
be
read and
created.
write.
modify all.
other record, sure, read and edit.
Proceed.
Yeah.
Okay. Try this as a homework. Okay. Create a OWD level, public read write, and profile level. Just put it as a CRUD. Do not put the view all and modify all. See what is happening, especially for the other records. Right? Is it read write or just a read? Now, next one is a public read write, and then I have a read access. What will happen to my records and what will happen to other records?
Only read.
My records only read.
Mhm.
Other record also only read.
Does he have create option as well? Only read.
He has only read option.
So he cannot create, only read.
Only read, whether it is a my record or a other records, only the read access is there. Now, public read only. On the OWD, I have just a read only. Now, profile level, I have a read access. What will happen to my records and other records?
Both are read.
Both of
Read.
Only read.
Read.
Now, next one is I have a public read only. But I have here profile level, all the create, read, edit, and view all. So what will happen to the result?
Both are read.
My
Own
records,
records can be
If we click on view all, only read.
create, read,
option will be
but other records can only be read.
my records read and edit. Other records only read.
both records read. Only read.
so my records read and edit, other records are read. Now, I have a OWD level public read write. I have a OWD level public read write. And we have a different profile option. Now here it is a read write and create, read, edit, and view all. What will happen in this case?
Own records and other records can be read and edit.
Right, offline. Right, for everybody's record, it's a read and edit. Now let's take an example. OWD is a private and profile is a create, read, edit, delete, view all. Now what will happen to the my records and other records?
Own
My
records
records
can
is
have
read
read
and
and
other
edit.
records read.
Other records can not read
Read.
and edit.
My records read and edit. Other records read only.
Offline. Right. So my records, it will be read and edit. Other records, it is a read. Now, OWD is a public read write and profile is a create, read, view all. What will happen to my records and other records?
My
My
records
records
create
read only.
and other records
Read only.
read.
What
Read
will
and
happen to my records?
create and read.
Read and
Other
edit.
records create and read and write.
Both are read because edit option is not available on the profile level.
Hmm.
Edit option is not available on the profile level. Though you have it on the OWD write option, but profile level you do not have an edit option. So both will be read. The next one is public read only. Now here profile is a create, read and view all. What should happen?
Only read.
My records create and read and other records read.
My records also read, other records also receive.
Only read.
Offline. Bhanu, Balu, Charan. What is the answer? Right. So my records will be the create and the read, and others will be read access. Now next one is public read only. OWD, I have a public read only. And then profile level, I have a modify all option. I have a modify all option. So what will happen?
Everyone
records
For
can
both, we can
my
edit
records
and
read
create
edit.
read.
edit.
Other records only read.
All records will be edited.
Yeah.
Read, edit, right? So whether it is my record or everybody's record, everything will get the edit. Not all the access, right? So the create option will not be enabled when you switch on the modify all. Right? So create option will be disabled. So not all the access, only read, edit, delete, view all, modify all. Create won't be there. Next one, public read write. So when you have a public read write on the OWD and profile level modify all.
My records and other records read and edit everything. Except create for the others.
Both records can be read and edit.
Right, my records will have a my records and other records will have read, edit, delete, write, view all, modify all. How about private? I have a OWD private and profile is modify all. What will happen?
My records and other records read and edit.
What about to other records?
Read and edit. Because modify all will override the OWD rule. So it is read and edit.
Offline. For my records or for other records? Read, edit. Both will have a read and edit. Fine. So what did we learn so far? So far we have learned the role, differences between the roles and profile, and we have seen the role hierarchy. And we have seen the OWD navigation, private sharing mechanism, manual sharing. And we have seen the requirement, couple of scenarios, right? So yesterday we have seen the differences between the roles and profile. So these all we have seen. Now questions. What does role hierarchy do? What does role hierarchy do?
Decides what
It will
user
give,
can
Gives
do.
the access.
OWD.
Gives the access to the records
Records,
depending on the
yeah.
roles in the role hierarchy.
So role hierarchy is basically, role hierarchy allows us to make the subordinates record to get visibility to the managers based on the by default. That means record level access by default, it will be visible to the managers. What is OWD?
Organization.
So what it does, OWD?
Organization by default.
Level of access of record inside the organization.
Right. So what does OWD do, Rohit? Jyoti. Okay. So OWD is basically the level of access that is given inside the organization. That means OWD decides whether record should be visible to whom inside the organization. It's a base level restriction also, but basically it is OWD is what level, what are the records that should be visible to whom inside the organization. Anybody wants to note down, take a notes of it. Now, if OWD is a private per single object, then what will happen? Like if the OWD is private per single object or different?
That time only record owner can see perform the records.
Right. So owner can see the data.
Yeah.
Now we have seen only manual sharing.
Manual.
Yeah.
There are three types of sharing mechanism basically. Out of three, we have seen only one, which is called as a manual sharing. Now homework, create a role hierarchy. Yesterday, have you guys created any role hierarchy? Is
No.
it same as this?
And in role hierarchy, we can do two cycles kind of thing, or we need to modify or delete the same cycle.
Can you repeat the question, whoever is speaking?
Yeah.
Sirisha.
My name is Sirisha, yeah. Can we do two cycles means one is this homework and yesterday's homework, we can perform two operations at a time in the role hierarchy, or we need to do only modifications and edit to that cycle?
You need to modify it.
Okay.
So whatever you have created, so just modify that, create the one which is a CEO, CFO, COO, CTO, VP. And assign the CTO, CEO to the Salesforce license. So Salesforce license, that means admin license to the CEO and CTO, CFO, COO, and VP.
In licenses, which one is highest, which one is the lowest? Ma'am?
Salesforce license is nothing but admin access. Okay, here, instead of both the places I have a CTO, one place take it as a VP. Let's take this way, like CEO and CTO will have a Salesforce license user, which is the admin user. CFO, COO, VP, let's assign them as a Salesforce platform license. And then create an opportunity by logging in as a CTO. Create an opportunity by logging in as a CTO. And now here is the difficulty that you will face it. When you log in as a CFO and COO, you should not be able to see the opportunity records. You should not be able to see the opportunity records. Basically, opportunity object itself, you should not be able to see. For the homework one, let's take here CTO, CEO, Salesforce license. For CFO, COO, VP, will take it as a Salesforce platform license.
Last one VP, ma'am.
So yeah, VP.
It's in CTO.
Madam, in my
Yes,
org,
yes,
I have only Salesforce limit is 2 only, madam.
Sorry.
In my org, it is showing the limit is for Salesforce license only 2.
Right.
So I am unable to assign.
Role you are assigning it, you are not changing anything.
While I am creating users, it's showing like exceed number of users. Only for Salesforce license, only 2 users I have to create.
Yeah, we can give one to CEO and one to CTO.
No, why the license is coming into the picture when you are assigning the role? Role does not.
While even I am also getting same issue, ma'am. While creating user, you give minimum maxing, clone the minimum maxing from Salesforce.
You need not create a new user. I'm not saying you guys to create a new user. Whatever.
Yesterday's homework, before yesterday's homework, you gave a new user, create a new
Okay.
user.
So that
Hemant Kumar.
you need to deactivate the previous one and activate this.
Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, I could not able to delete child role. It was connected to my profile, Messi : ma'am. I don't know.
You need to remove this role here and then try to delete the child records.
No, I did not assign anything, ma'am. I could not able to create even from added role. I could not able to add any role on that. Can I share my screen?
Just a second. Let's complete this. Then we'll look into that.
Yeah, sure.
Is homework one clear about everyone?
Yes.
No, update the OWD setting to account to the private and create an opportunity record by logging in as a CTO. Then log in as a CFO, COO, you should not be able to see the opportunity records or opportunity object itself, whatever the CTO has created. Now can I move on of homework 3? Is everybody noted down? Can I move on? Okay. Now homework 3. Account is private. Now, create a account record. CTO should be creating the account record and log in as a CFO and a COO. They should not be seeing your account record. Whatever the CTO has created, these two members should not be seeing any account record. So what you need to do is you need to manually share the record to the CFO and COO, and the level of access is read access. The level of access is read access. Any questions? Trial head, I'll ping you the trial head. I would suggest practice, guys, practice more, otherwise it will be get confused. This is a security. Security is a very important topic. So practice is very important on this. Practice is very important on this. Any questions before I move on? Anything?
Ma'am, these are things on what we are discussing, internal security.